Hello, everybody. Gage says it's empty. Let's go see what's in the fridge today. Alright guys, thanks for stopping by Gregsbeerreviews today. I decided to go ahead and do the other Boulevard Brewing. This is their smokestack series. This one is their Quadrupel. This is their the sixth glass. That's what this one is called. And just like the one we did yesterday, it has a lot of junk in this beer. And as y'all know, I am not a big fan of that, but Dan sent me these two beers from Kansas, so I'm kind of anxious for them to, now that they're distributing in Virginia now, to see these beers in the store and just to check them out and see if they still have all that junk in there. And they have the big bright writing on the side, and it says Best by 041215 2015. So they're saying this beer is going to keep for several more years, 3 years on the bottle here. So that's pretty good. That's pretty good. So this is a quadruple. It doesn't say bottle conditioned on here, and what I've read, nothing says that it is bottle conditioned. So even though it's a quadruple and it's coming in at 10.5%, I'm still not a big fan of all that stuff, that trash in their beers. So I don't know if the hops have coagulated and they form the solids and drop down in there, but this beer has a lot of stuff in it. So y'all know how I feel about that. I'm not a big fan of that unless it's unless it's a wheat beer or something it's unfiltered, that you know that that stuff is supposed to be in there. So with that being said, let's get on with this one. Alright, this is a quadruple, like I said, 10.5, availability is year-round. And the notes on this beer, it says, "Do you know what dwells in a glass?" asked Ollie in Hans Christian Andersen's The Watchman of the Tower. Better known for stories such as The Little Mermaid, Andersen wrote this short, cautionary tale for somewhat older audiences. Our quadruple ale, also meant for the mature connoisseur, is a deep and mysterious libation, dark autumn and full-bodied, its sweetness deceptive. As Ollie describes the glass in turn, their contents become more omnibus until the sixth glass. So, the food pairings for this one, guys: the cheese is the buttery brie, Gouda, Havarti, Swiss, sharp, blue, cheddar, and the meat is beef, smoked meat, and game. Glassware is snifter, tulip, goblet, or chalice. I got the double glass here again today, guys, and this can be sold for many years according to what they're saying. So let's get the cap off of this one and get it in the glass. I mean, there is so much stuff in this one, I don't think I'm going to be able to pour it easy. So I'm going to have a lot of junk floating around in it. So let's just get it all in there. All the junk in the trunk is in the glass. So maybe that mixed it all back up again. Over into the light, there is a lot of stuff floating around in the beer, but it doesn't look like anything's going to kill me, so we're going to deal with it this time, guys. It is a rich ruby, not quite to the dark ruby, but a light. It's got a heavy red tint to it. Very heavy red tint to it. And with all the stuff floating around in it, it is fairly cloudy. I mean, it doesn't have a lot of light from the bulb shining through. So, a lot of junk in the trunk on this one, guys. The bubbles with that aggressive pour are fairly big on the side of the glass. There is some creaminess on the top. About a finger of head with that aggressive pour. Let's get a nose on this one. This one was sent to me by Dan out of Kansas. He sent me both of these Smokestack series beers because I don't do the Smokestack here. And actually, I didn't do any when he sent me these. So, Dan, thanks again for sending them to me. I do appreciate it, buddy. Let's get a nose on it. Wow. Monster aroma. Dates, figs, raisins. Maybe even some dark cherries in there. A little bit of alcohol going there too, 10.5%. Well, we might should have let this in the bottle for another year. Or two going to the bottle if that's a 15. Wow, smells pretty tasty. Let's give it a taste. Cheers everybody. Did you see that monster head? It's this barely now covering the top of the beer. Actually, I get surprised when I have a 10 or above ABV beer that pours a big head. So it's very unusual for those big ABVs, unless it's something, you know, Belgian or something that's super carbonated. Well, cheers everybody. Cheers, Dan. Same thing on the taste, but the alcohol is there. It's a little on the boozy side. Maybe just a tad on a lot on the boozy side. This one may have should have stayed in the refrigerator for about a year or so. But when I pulled it up to the bite and I seen all that in the bottom of it, I said, let's go ahead and get this one out of there and get it in the glass and see what it's about. Like I said, y'all all know me. I'm not a big fan of all the junk in the trunk in the bottle. So, but this is a quadruple, 10.5%. It's not going to go bad anytime soon. A little effervescent on the tongue. Surprisingly, that they didn't pour a bigger head than it did. That much effervescent on the tongue. But dates, raisins, figs, some darker fruit there. Very nice. Very big beer though. It's a very, very big beer. So let's let it warm up and see if it changes any, and hopefully it don't get too boozy before we come back and do the final chug. And let her taste it, and if we got the grill fired up, we're going to throw some burgers out on it, and maybe even smoke a cigar while we're sipping on this one. So I'll be back in just a second, and we'll do the final chug thing on this one, guys. Be right back. Alright guys, I'm back. Got just a little bit left here. Maybe just a little bit more. Let me hit this thing one more time. Very, very tasty beer. Very tasty beer. Not been disappointed with anything that Boulevard does so far. Very pleasant. Dates, raisins, figs, maybe a little grapes in there, a little plums. Very nice, guys. Final chug. Wow, just a little heavy on the booziness for my taste. Of course, you got to realize it's a 10.5% beer, so it's going to have a little bit of booziness. I mean, it's really, really hard to hide that much alcohol. So this would probably done, like I said, done better if we'd have cellared it for at least a year or so. So very tasty, guys. I'm gonna have to. I'm with the date on the bottle and being a quad, I'm gonna give it 9 out of 10. I mean, it's got everything on the bottle you need to know. I mean, it'd be nice to know if it's unfiltered or not, but it doesn't say that it is, and I haven't read anywhere that it is. So I don't think that it is, but I may be mistaken. So that's what I'm gonna give it. 9 out of 10. Very pleasant. But if I had to do over again, I would probably sell this for a little while longer, even though it's gonna have some junk in the trunk, which I'm not a big fan of. It is what it is. So with that being said, let's go to the other ratings. Beer Advocate says 93, which is in their outstanding range. And Rate Beer says 98 overall and 91 in the style. So impressive numbers there too. So I kind of agree. It's definitely an A beer. Definitely worth picking up and giving it a try if you're into the quadruples. Just remember, it's a big alcohol beer, and it's a well-made beer though. It's not super boozy, but there is some alcohol there. I mean, it's not absolutely hidden. So with that being said, guys, it's a pretty tasty beer. So if you've had this one, give me some comments back on this one, whether you liked it, didn't like it. As always, rate, comment, subscribe. Got the new edition of the openers here, so if you need one of those bottle openers, give me a shout back. Got the shirts over here, got plenty of them too, so don't have any larges or triple X's, but I got everything else over there. So if you need one of those other sizes or a bottle opener, they're here. Come get them while you can. Guys, always, rate, comment, subscribe, and let's go see what's in the fridge tomorrow. See everybody there.